I am literally in my PJs today, so I'm trying not to flash you inappropriately. Let's get you a little bit closer here. We're vlogging today. No, she's still ridiculous. Okay. Okay. Maybe that's a little bit better. Let me crank you back up a little bit. So my head's not cut off too bad. It's cut off a little bit. Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 2nd. I filmed a podcast yesterday and, oh damn, I forgot something. Hold on. Okay. I am doing a WIP wrap up today. That's not really what it is. That's partly what it is. But okay, start over. My plan here is I want to go through all of my WIPs and try to make a plan for the rest of the year to figure out what I can finish before 2022 is over, and also take into account the things that I need to start and finish before the year is over that I haven't started yet. And I'm just gonna go through it all with you because why not? We're here together. We're on this journey together. I'm in my PJs, I'm drinking coffee. It's a nice, crisp, chilly fall morning here in Pittsburgh, PA, and oh, my name's Leigh. Welcome. All right, so you can kind of see a hint of some bags here. I took some B-roll footage of all of my current WIPs. I'll put it here, I guess. But I think I gathered every single one of my WIPs, my current WIPs. I think they're all here. And yesterday I also had a ball winding party. Sorry, my sinuses are burning a bit. I had a little ball winding party yesterday. I gathered up the yarn for projects that I know I want to start and knit for Christmas. And I have all of those over here beside me. Here, there's 5 bags. So I'm gonna go through these with you as well so we can talk about what I need to start and finish before Christmas. But before I'm casting any of these on, I want to assess what I currently have going, because I am horrible. If you watched my fall winter knitting plans video back months ago now, I had very specific plans for what I wanted to knit over the fall and winter, garments specifically. And I still have in here my list. This is my little knitting notebook. But I still have my list in here of my fall and winter knitting plans. And I have one thing marked off. One. And there are even lists. There's a list up here that says to finish by September 1st. And there are 3 projects. Only one of those was ever finished. Now, okay. There were some things here, down here, that I wanted to finish before I went on vacation in Colorado a while back. And those things got finished. So that's good. But, you know, that doesn't help me with all of these things I had planned on knitting. Which is fine. Like, it's fine. If I'm not knitting things that I had planned on knitting, it's not like they won't get knit eventually, but having active WIPs sitting around is a little bit more pressure on me than not starting something that I had planned on starting. So I actually forgot one WIP. Hold please. It's hanging on the door. One more WIP. Now, yesterday I sat down and I wrote down all of my WIPs, my current WIPs. These are ones, there are a couple more that are in hibernation, but I did not write them down. I think they're here. I think I brought them out here. Like, I think this is absolutely all of them. But, except my Cozy Memories blanket. But we're not gonna talk about that. So I wrote down all of my WIPs, and I wrote down a list of all of the projects I need to do by the end of the year, like Christmas gifts and stuff. And then I started kind of vaguely here. You can see I wrote down the weeks, and I started listing which projects I wanted to be done with during those weeks. So I think my plan vaguely at this point is that I want to try some more monogamous knitting. I want to kind of take these as a guide and really focus on 1-2 projects at a time and get them finished. Now, I have all of November basically. Today is, what did I say? It was November 2nd? Yes, I have all of November still before Vlogmas starts. So I want to get as many things done during November as I can. But Vlogmas, I think, will really benefit from me trying to do a WIP-down because you'll be getting daily updates. You'll be getting daily updates on my progress on my WIP-down and also on my Christmas knitting and such. So that'll be good. Look forward to that. Subscribe if you want to be privy to that Vlogmas stuff. But for now, I guess let's go through my WIPs. Now I'm gonna vaguely use this, what I wrote here as a guideline, but we're also just gonna kind of like casually chat about these things together because why not? Now the first thing I have on here is my Twist and Turns MCal, which I said I wanted to finish this week and I really want to finish it by Thursday. As of yesterday, which is when I filmed the episode of the podcast, this will be going up after the podcast, so you're okay. I filmed a podcast yesterday and I was not this far on the Twist and Turns. If you don't want spoilers, then I would just skip ahead for a little bit. I'm not going to talk about it for too long, but I am going to show it here right now. But yesterday, my Twist and Turns, I finished all of the knitting of my Twist and Turns. I really want to go ahead and block it. I want to add tassels to mine, and I started by adding 1 tassel here and realized that I think I might want to block it before adding the tassels on. So I may go ahead and block it first. I did not do the full section here because I didn't really, the extra like piece down here made it a really weird shape. It was kind of cute wearing it, like when it was worn, but I don't know, I didn't really think it was necessary. Instead, I'm gonna put tassels off of each of my little thingy things. And then I'm also gonna put a tassel on each point. So that's my plan. And this tassel here is black and green. But I think I'm gonna do black and green, black and orange, black and green, black and orange, black and green, and then I will do black and orange for the points, or maybe all 3 colors for the points. I'm not sure. So there we go. I'm basically done with this. I just need to block and do tassels. Very exciting. So I can actually clear out some of the stuff in this bag. And I want to have the tassels done. Well, I guess I'll have it blocked by Thursday, which is tomorrow. I should block this today. And then by this weekend I can do tassels. But quite frankly, the tassels aren't really bothering me like as a whip, you know? It doesn't even need to be in a bag anymore. So this one, I'm going to say, is already pretty much done. Love that for me. And I wanted to finish my, I wanted to finish my samples of my sock designs. I have 2 sock designs currently in testing, and one of them is this design, the Bond Weave socks, and I finished this pair, which need to go in the wash now, actually. But I also finished just 1 sock of this pair, and I need to finish the second one. This morning, while I was sitting down knitting, doing my morning knitting, I cast on the second one. But this is as far as I am. I would need to finish this sock. And I have on here that I want to finish it by next week sometime, which I think is reasonable. It's 1 sock. And this pattern is really quick to knit up, so I think that's perfectly reasonable, having this whip finished by next week. Now the other sock design I have is here. These are my Alexander socks, and I have 1 sock finished for my blue sample, so I need to knit the second sock for that one. But I also have here, these actually aren't cast on yet, but I have them in the whip pile because I need to start them like 3 days ago. But this is the second sample of my Alexander socks, the colorwork ones. in just the 3-color version. And I had started them, but I need to rip this out and start it over because since I started that, I'd altered the pattern. So I have these. I need to knit up at least one sock sample of these ASAP. But I want to have both pairs of these socks done by not next week, but the week after. I need them done before the pattern is released. And the pattern I'm planning on releasing around Thanksgiving. So these have a hard deadline of like enough time before the pattern release to get photos and stuff done. But I'm aiming for not next week, but the week after to have both of these done. But for next week, I want to have not only my bond weave second sock finished, but I also want to have this sweater finished. This is my Purpurea sweater that you've seen if you've been watching the podcast. I actually have done a little bit of work on this over the last couple of days, especially since I finished knitting on my twist and turns. I have been working on this, and my Purpurea sweater is in this. It looks so small on camera. I tried it on yesterday. It's cables, so it's like really stretchy, and it's basically cable ribbing, so it looks really tiny, but it does fit me, I promise, and especially once it's blocked. But I finished the back. The back is completely finished. It's got a split hem. And instead of going ahead and finishing the front, I just went ahead and started a sleeve because I felt like that's what I wanted to do. So I just followed my heart. And I have started the sleeve, the first sleeve. So that's where I am on my Purpurea sweater. This is a fairly large gauge. It's DK weight. And I honestly think that if I am just working on this and this sock, I can finish them both next week. So that is my goal first, is to finish these 2 projects. They have been lingering way too long. They are not even the longest lingering projects here. Oh my gosh, it's about to get real messy. Now, the next thing I have here in my WIP pile is, oh my God, Christmas presents. I have my pot holders here and I really need to get these done in time for Christmas. But the thing about my Christmas makes is that I don't want them done for Christmas. I want them done in time for me to go home to visit, because Brad and I are going home to visit the first weekend of December, which is well before Christmas. But I would like to take all my gifts down there and leave them there for my family. So I'd like to have them done by then. But I have not worked on my pot holders like at all. I finished one minus the border, and I'm this far on a second, and that's it. Now, I have one. I don't need to make mine. Like, these aren't necessary. Actually, I'm probably gonna take that out of the bag. This is my utility cotton basket. So that's a little bit of a relief. But I need to make 2 of each color, and I have 1, 2, 3. Mom says she doesn't actually need these, so this one's a maybe. But at the very least, I have 1, 2 and a half, and 2 more for my brother. I have to actually go through this basket and pick out colors for him because I wasn't planning on making him any originally, but he has requested more. So for my brother also, I will be picking out yarn for 2 more pot holders, and I need to just crank those out. I have on my little sheet here that I want to finish them by the week of November 21st, which is the week, that's like 2 weeks before we go home. So if I work on it, I mean, it should be fine. I just haven't been working on them. But like I said, I'm planning on doing this kind of monogamously. And if I'm working on these fairly monogamously, they go super quickly. So once I'm done with a few projects, yes. Now also, all of these things are not counting casting anything on, which I will talk about after I'm done with whips. All right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more bags here. And I think one of them has 2 whips in it. let's address this in my egg bag. This is my Irish Rover pullover. And this is joined. All the pieces are joined together. The body and the sleeves are together. I only have the yoke left. I would really like to focus on this whenever I'm done with my Purpurea sweater, all of the sock WIPs I've mentioned so far, my pot holders, and maybe 1 or 2 pairs of Christmas gift socks. With those things done, I would like to monogamously work on this and get this cranked out and finished. And if I do that, I think I can finish it by the week of December 5th. So before the end of the year, this will be done, which means this will probably be very active in Vlogmas. So if you want to see updates on this, watch Vlogmas. These are all very loose plans. I'm gonna kind of wing it, see how fast, because if I finish something early, I'm gonna get to working on something else earlier. So this is all very vague, very loose, just kind of like trying to make a game plan. But this will be the next monogamous sweater I try to finish because it's pretty close. I just have the yoke, and the yoke will probably fly by once I get working on it. This is also a pretty large gauge. It's technically DK weight, I think, but it's on size 8 needles. So it goes pretty quickly. And a yoke gets smaller as you go up it. So fewer stitches. So I think that will be the next monogamous sweater I work on after my Purpurea is done and I get some smaller projects finished. And then I have 2 more sweater WIPs. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about those. First, I have my Douglas cardigan here, which has not been touched basically since I cast it on. I am literally just this far up the back. That's it. And this is nice and pleasant to work on. I've just been prioritizing other things, which is fine. That's still going to be the case. I am going to finish some other things before I pick this back up again and work on it. So this one will get its time in the limelight after I'm done with at least those other 2 sweaters. So that's it for that. That's all I'm going to say for that. Also, I have in this bag, just an honorable mention, the yarn caked up for my Forest Keys vest that I mentioned in my fall winter knitting plans cast on video. This is not started. I literally only have the ball and the pattern, balls of yarn and the pattern in here, and that's it. So this hasn't actually been started, but it's been sitting in a bag waiting to be a WIP. But since it's not, I think I'm gonna put it away and not start it anytime soon. I'm going to hold off because I need to get some things cleared off the needles. And the last sweater WIP I have is, I've got needles laying around now. Gotta keep track of what bag they go in. In my dragon bag here, I have my twigs. I have been working on this dang sweater for so long, and every once in a while I get a bug up my butt and I work on it a bit, but I'm still not even at the sleeve separation. Now, to be fair, the last time I worked on this for any length of time, I did have to rip back like quite a ways, like maybe like this far, and re-knit some stuff. So I've basically knit a good chunk of this twice, to be fair. But I love it. Like, it looks incredible. This yarn is so good. The colors are absolutely perfect. So I am not ready to give up on it yet. It just is not a forefront of my mind kind of WIP. It is definitely a, if I'm feeling itchy for color work, I'll pick it up and do a few rounds kind of knit. And quite frankly, I think I'm just gonna like come to terms with being okay with that. This is just going to be a very, very, very long-term knit. Once I separate for the sleeves, maybe it'll go faster and I will spend more time on it, but until then, I'm not gonna worry about it. So until then, I'm going to put this over here with my pile of don't worry about it sweaters. And then I have just one more bag here that has 2 WIPs in it, and one of them is a tragedy. Here in my Black Pearl Magic bag, I have 2 pairs of socks, one of which I completely forgot about. Like, I didn't even put it on my list. I just completely forgot about it. But in here I have, first, my Salem socks that aren't gonna go anywhere. They're just a WIP. They may continue to be like put aside until I have some extra time, because I have several pairs of socks I need to knit for Christmas. But they're beautiful and they're not gonna go anywhere, so I'm just gonna kind of like chill out with these. Ooh, I'm gonna take the lip balm out of this bag though, because I've been needing it. It's been so dry. This dry cold air is really hitting here in Pittsburgh. So let's put a little bit of balm on. That feels good. I'll also take a sip of coffee. Not really helping with my hydration, but that's fine. All right, the other WIP in here is the tragedy. I participated in a test knit for Tara of Crystal Tea Knits. Yes, I've tested for her a couple of times before, and I realized once I told her I would test this sock that I just had too much on my plate. I really couldn't like give this the brain space that it needed. But I was working on it here and there and was committed to finishing at least one sock in time for the release so that I could take a picture of it and such. But I got through the leg. The yarn I had for this was, it's released now. This was the secret test knit that I had been mentioning in my podcast. But the yarn for this I'd split in half so that I knew I had enough for 2 socks, and I was wrong. I managed to get down the leg and over halfway down the foot. You know, plenty to be able to give her feedback and everything, but then I ran out of yarn. And this is it. And I was so frustrated about it that I just kind of like put it aside and I didn't even bother finishing it. And I honestly don't know if I will, because to finish it, I would have to rip it out, completely start over in a different yarn. And I have too many things going on. I just honestly do not have the time or the headspace to be able to do that. These do look really cute though. They might not be available. I think this is for a subscription box, but they are pretty cute. If they are available, I will link them down below with a note saying if they're available or not. So definitely give her a follow on Instagram though. I'll at least put her Instagram below. She'll have all of the info for all of her sock patterns. They're very cute. And yeah, that's a tragedy, but I just honestly cannot add pressure to, I'm just not in the headspace to add extra pressure to myself for things like that. So no more test knits for me for the foreseeable future. And that's it. That's all I got for WIPs. That's absolutely all of my WIPs. Sometimes I feel really bad about how many WIPs I have going at a single time, but running through them all, it doesn't seem too terrible. I have a loose size 6 needle here. I was trying to figure out what size it was so that I could put it where it goes. That's for my Porporea sweater. Oh, that's not true. I also have my blanket, my granny square blanket here. I would love to finish this also. Now, I don't think this is gonna get done this year because I have some stuff coming down the pipeline that are going to take up way too much of my time. But come the new year, I think I really want to start this, or start finishing it. I have the yarn for all of the border color and all of that kind of stuff. I just need to sit down and do it. So, but for now, I have plenty of crochet projects. I have my pot holders, and I also have a new one coming in that I will talk to you about now. I don't have the yarn or anything for it yet, but I have I mentioned it in the podcast, so I guess you would have heard me mention it, but I have a commissioned blanket coming in that I will be working on and need to have finished for Christmas. It is a crochet Afghan, worsted weight, fairly large hook, and but that's going to take like a good bit of my time and all of my crochet headspace. So I'm supposed to be meeting with her tomorrow to pick out exactly which yarn she wants and what colors and such. And then I'll need to like get cranking that thing out. So that will be the reason I won't be able to finish this year. Otherwise, I probably would have tried. But besides that, I have also these things that I need to knit in time for Christmas gifting. Like I said, I would love to have them done in time for us to go home to visit the first weekend of December. Worst case scenario, I get an extra week to work on them and then just mail them home. Because I think the shipping deadline for Christmas is the 16th or the 17th of December. But yeah, let's talk about them. The first one here in this adorable LeighKnits bag from Haley is a pair of socks for my sister for Christmas. Now, it's hilarious that so many more and more people in my life are becoming knit worthy. I think it's just because I keep giving people socks because I knit so many socks. But my sister has specifically requested, I've knit her several socks before and she loves them, but she specifically requested this color, which is the Neighborhood Fiber Co. yarn I picked up at Maryland Sheep and Wool. She is having a hard time focusing today. Maryland Sheep and Wool, I knit myself a pair of socks out of this already, and she loved them. She requested socks out of these, and so I will be using up the extra for her. I've split it in two already. One ball is cute and one is not. I'll ball up the other half too, but I will also be using this Filcolana Arvetta Classic in color 278. It is a dusty pale lilac color. I'll be using this as the contrast color for her. For those, so that I know that I will be able to make entire socks. So that is one pair of Christmas socks I need to get knit. In here, is it this one? Nope. This one in here, I have my November striped socks. These don't have to be done. I would like them to be done in November because they're my November striped socks, and then I will also have December striped socks. But for now, here's my November striped socks. I will be starting these soon. I will probably finish, if I can finish my bond weave socks by next week. I think next week I will cast on both of these, my sister's and my November striped socks, so that I can get those going. But then I have in this bag, what is in here? Oh, Brad's Christmas socks. I knit him a pair of socks every Christmas too. And I have this gorgeous color from Holly Press Fibers. No, focus, come on. There we go, from Holly Press Fibers. And for contrast, I picked this Knit Pick Stroll in the color Hollyberry. And those will be very festive. Those are Brad's Christmas socks. You focus on me now. And then another Christmas bag. What's in here? Oh, these are my Christmas socks. I have here, I guess I'm gonna have to manual focus for y'all today. This is a yarn from Yarn Cafe Creations, and it is like a Christmas candy themed. I can't remember exactly what it's called. And I picked this Knit Picks contrast color. It is Dogwood Heather. And these will be my Christmas socks. One pair of them at least. And I have a Sockmas pin on this bag, and that might be an indicator that these might be my Sockmas socks this year. Vlogmas starts on Black Friday, which is the day after American Thanksgiving. So those might be my Vlogmas socks. And then there's only one more here, although it may not be it forever. The last, oh no, there is one more pair. Damn. I'll show you in just a second. But in here I have the yarn for my brother's Christmas socks. My youngest brother. My youngest brother, he picked out this color. This is a Barnyard Knits colorway called Painted Lady. And I'm going to be using this Coast to Coast extra yarn for the contrast color. This is a 100% merino. It is I think it's a 100% merino, but it's the leftover yarn from Brad's flax sweater that I knit him a couple of years ago for Christmas. And it's this very beautiful, dark, tonal, tealy color. And it looks really nice with this. So those will be for my youngest brother. And then I have one more pair of socks that I have to knit for my second youngest brother, the middle brother, I guess. Let me go grab his yarn. All right, my second younger brother, I will be knitting him a pair of socks out of this West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the color Mallard. And that'll be my last Christmas gift. I knit my dad a hat, but it's already done, thank goodness. And I will not be knitting anything for my stepmom because she knits for herself, but I did buy her some yarn. And that should be it. Oh, thank goodness. I think I'm gonna stick this guy in here or something for now. I do have some sock needles free because I only have 1, 2, 3 kind of on the go. Oh, I have one more WIP. I set it over here so I wouldn't see it, but I still have my sock tube. I had received this sock tube as a gift and I have finished one sock. I need to just go ahead and finish these also. So I think I'm going to stick the sock tube in here with my bond weave socks, and I'm going to keep them handy so that I can just kind of like tack a heel every once in a while. Oh, I also think I may make these a pair of gifts because I have enough to make myself a pair and to make a second pair out of these. So I think the second pair will also be a gift. I'm not sure for who yet. I will need to make that decision when the time comes. So I know how long to cut the foot. But yeah, I still have these also. And my little contrast colors. Into the Rengoku bag. That is it, actually. That is all of my WIPs. I think I can do it. I'm not trying to get through absolutely every WIP. These 3 especially are not going anywhere. But I would like to finish the other 2 sweaters that I talked about, my Porphyria and my Irish Rover. I would like to finish all of the sock WIPs I have going. And I need to finish all of my Christmas knitting. I do have over here a little pile of sock WIPs that aren't really WIPs, like they're done. They just need the ends woven in. But I'm gonna put these by my computer and I'm going to weave in ends while I'm editing and doing other things so that those can get done soon, because one of these is for Brad and he wants to wear them. So yeah, I have like little things that I can finish here and there. I think what I'm gonna do now is clean up. I made a mess. I have like needles everywhere that I need to put back into my needle storage and extra yarn that needs to go places. I'll do that. I'll organize around in here and figure out my life. But yeah, we have a plan. This was just a rambly chat through my WIPs with me kind of video, but I also kind of wanted it to set the stage a little bit for Vlogmas, because this will be a job for Vlogmas for a lot of these WIPs. It'll be me knitting through them during Vlogmas. So a little sneaky peeky. Also, if you have any questions for me for Vlogmas, I was thinking about doing like a Q&A kind of thing where I'd answer like a question every day during Vlogmas. Leave them below. I will also be putting a call out on Instagram for questions. But if you have any questions for me for Vlogmas, then like about anything, I'm a chronic oversharer. So if you have questions about literally anything, put them below and I will answer them, or try my best to answer them during Vlogmas. Thanks for joining me for this little bonus video today. I feel a little bit better, but also still a little bit overwhelmed by how many things I have to knit. But it's okay. And knitting isn't the only thing I do. I still have to do like my day job stuff. So we got this. We got this. I'll keep y'all updated, but only in Vlogmas. This will be the last time we do a little update like this before Vlogmas starts. So I'll see y'all then.